Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Twists, the podcast where we recap your childhood. My name is Joseph Lewis, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host Anthony Ball. How are you?
I'm quite well, Joe. How are you?
I'm excellent. Today, you've joined me, and I've joined you, and we're talking about Nirandathal Beast.
Yes.
Episode 6 of Season 3 of Round the Twist.
Absolutely, that's what we're talking about today.
That is what we are talking about.
The, I guess you could call it the hairy episode. It was a bit of a hairy one.
Yeah. Let's get into it. The teaser of Round the Twist tells us a little bit about the episode narratively and thematically, and it also gives us the title of the episode. And this week we have black and white, shaky footage of an ape man running around. It attacks the camera, and then we film burn onto the title of the episode, Nirandathal Beast.
I really liked this one.
The episode or the title?
The opening was really cool.
It was okay. It was referencing, the footage of the Bigfoot monster man.
And then it had like a grindhouse sort of title.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
I like a good film burn.
Yeah.
It burns away to see something else.
The font was really nice. I was like, that was cool. It was nice.
You're such a font man.
I'm a font man. I enjoyed the 50s sort of thing.
You like some curves on your font.
I love them. Nice little jagged edges on that font. Ooh, baby. And I like how it actually tied in, obviously, as you said, thematically, with the story, which was like, it was this monster hunt story. It was basically, right?
Yeah, Monster Hunters.
Monster Hunters, B-grade movies. It could have been a little bit more, but, hey, I liked it.
What can you do?
What can you
80s,
do?
90s, early 2000 television show and primarily a children. What more can you want? We start the episode and Tony is shaving cream all over his face and he's examining Pete's face. And Bronson's in the background pretending to shave. And Tony says, sorry mate, there's just not enough there to shave. And Pete says, what about this? On my chin here, this bit here. And Bronson says, that's leftovers from breakfast. And Tony says, nobody gets to use the family razor until they're good and ready. And he unveils his razor in its shiny glory.
So apparently there's a family razor, which is also not disgusting in any way.
Yeah, a family relic that is a razor. I don't know, you're not supposed to share that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe it was a thing back then.
Hygiene?
Yeah, but why don't people just use, I don't know, like chic, bloody, Quattro, Max Steel, titanium blades, whatever, why use an old razor?
Or an electric one, whatever.
Yeah, or an electric razor. Like, what I liked too was like where they got the razor from.
Yeah, this razor's been passed down from generation to generation, and Grandad Twist liberated it from World War I from a German colonel who vowed to only use it when the war was over. And Tony says, we all know what happened to him, and Bronson says he tripped on his beard and he landed on a landmine.
So what I picked up from this was that Grandpa
Twist is a murderer. He pushed a guy on
to
a landmine and took his razor.
Either that he was the Twists are German and we're fighting on the German front, okay?
And he was the colonel that tripped on the landmine.
No, he was one of the friends of the colonel. And he pretty much took it. It's really confusing.
Or he's a war criminal and he stole. He was a looter.
He looted. That's exactly. Yeah. He loots the body of his German colonel. It's like, oh, that's a little dodgy. It's a great story.
But isn't that what they all did back then? They just were looting things. It's like
but it's like
war diamonds.
He got it from a German colonel back in World War One. It's like, you mean he looted it off the dead body of a German colonel?
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. But we'll say it this way because it sounds better.
You're a war thief.
Also, it's not really through the history or whatever, because it's like, if it was his grandfather found it, it's like one generation?
Generation to generation, Anthony. From generation to generation.
Generation.
Bronson says, when do I get to use it, Dad? And Pete says, you don't. You get disposables. A little bit mean-spirited there, Pete.
You're a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
Yeah, big jerk, mate.
Go and listen to your Creative Commons rock and roll in your room.
Yeah, you go listen to that copyright-free rock and roll, because you're a badass, You're such a badass. Screw you, Pete.
Yeah,
be nice to him. Bronson might be completely useless and, really annoying, but yeah, that was uncalled for. That's not cool, man.
We like him better than you.
Yeah, what was weird is that Linda didn't try to, be like,
I want to shave too.
I want to shave too, but you don't have hair on your face. That's sexist. And then, if it would have been like, whatever, okay?
Yeah.
Fine. Because, she wouldn't shave her legs because, she's a feminist. And,
Nothing wrong with not...
I don't care.
Like, do whatever you want.
I fucking care. It's not my legs, are they?
Nobody tells you to shave your beard.
Yeah.
Why should people tell her to shave her legs?
She can do whatever she wants. She can have her pits as wild as as unkept as she cares. For all I care.
Ted Danson's character in Bored to Death loves some armpit hair.
Well, some people do. And whatever, that's your kick, I don't care.
Shave whatever. Don't shave whatever you want. Be free like the wildebeest.
Yeah, be free like the wildebeest.
Or die.
Yeah. Cows with guns.
Cows with guns.
Yeah.
Cows with guns. Bronson storms off because it's unfair, and Linda storms in. She says, hurry up, Faye's going to wake up soon, and it's going to be Mother's Day.
Oh.
Which is factually incorrect, because Mother's Day is actually in 2 days. She's not going to wake up and it will be Mother's Day.
Yeah.
She's just exaggerating. Only I'm allowed to use hyperbole on this podcast, Linda. You keep your hyperbole to yourself.
Exactly. Stop making fake ticking clocks.
I only want truth from you.
Yeah, exactly. Don't ever lie to us, Linda. You're supposed to be the voice of activism and reason. I don't want to say reason. Activism.
No, when is reason ever a word that you use in the same sentence with the Linda twist? Never.
Forceful opinions.
Forceful opinions, yes.
Yeah. Activist as well, I guess.
Activist, not reasonable though.
Yeah, I wouldn't say rational or reasonable comes to mind.
No.
But of the twists, she is probably the most rational, but that's like saying,
what?
Of all the irrational people in a room, she's the most rational, you're a king of fools, is basically what it is. If you're king of fools, you're still a fool.
You are,
but you're just the king of them.
Unless you came from the land of wise men, and then you were appointed king of the fools.
Oh, because
but then you're the wise man.
Yeah, but then that would be a puppet government, and then all the fools. Well, but the fools wouldn't be smart enough to actually overthrow a puppet government. So, there you go.
In the land of the fools, the wisest fool is king, unless there is actually a wise man.
Actually, in the land of fools, the average man is king.
Yeah. Unless there's an actual wise man.
In which case, you're kind of screwed.
And then he will be king.
But you have to kill him first.
You have to kill him, indeed.
Yeah, that's fine. Because he's old. You just push him down some steps.
But this is getting too far. Yeah. At the car, the twists are leaving. Bronson is running late. So they're like, don't worry, we can just leave this 7-year-old boy to go shopping on his own.
Probably eating food.
Nothing bad's going to happen to him if he goes to shops by himself.
Yeah. Hang on. This has happened before.
Yes.
This happened with the bloody, transformation copy machine, didn't it? Remember? Okay, so what happens next, Joe, in the story?
Bronson.
Yeah.
He sees them leave, and he begins to try to shave.
Yeah.
And he finds this ancient World War II picture from the shaving kit, and he looks at it, and he pulls out the shaver.
World War One.
Whatever.
Yeah, different wars.
They're all the same.
Well, it's a big difference, okay? Because if it's World War II, and the twists were German, it's like, oh, were you in the German army, or are you in the other army? Because, that's a bit shady if you're in the other army. It's still a little bit frowned upon.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little
But
bit.
if you're a colonel in the German army,
and he pulls out his shaver and he begins to shave with really bad technique. He goes across the side of his face, like sideways.
Yeah. And he cuts right across his lips.
Yeah.
Can I just say, that made me squirm, and what I wanted to say is because we advanced the story.
Okay.
He uses the shaver, right? This is just like the copy where he's like, oh, I want to use the machine.
Yeah,
I want to use the machine.
No,
we won't. And then they leave him alone.
Yeah.
And he uses the machine.
But they didn't know he was going to use the shaver, and they didn't know there was anything wrong with it. The copy machine, they definitely knew something was up, and they definitely left him there, knowing that he was definitely going to use it.
Well, they should learn, from their past mistakes.
Never leave Bronson alone.
Yeah, never leave a small child alone who said that I would like to use a certain thing, and it's been denied it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shaver starts to glow and shake, and he drops it, and it breaks.
Yeah.
Tony, Pete, Linda, they're at the shops, and Tony says, let's meet back here in 30 minutes with the presents wrapped. It's 2 days till Mother's Day. Pete, you can keep a secret, right? And he says, oh, I only spoilt one surprise party as a little kid. And Linda says, that was last year. Yeah, good interjection there, Linda. That's not a joke that's never been used before.
Yeah, well, that's a great joke by Linda, I guess. Whose surprise party was it, though?
Oh, I don't know. Was it Faye's?
Maybe.
Is this a reference to the Turtle Island episode?
It could have been. Could have been a reference to the Turtle Island episode. That actually makes a lot of sense. Good work there, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
Just referencing away.
Yeah, you got those references all up in his house.
Back at the lighthouse, Bronson wraps up the shaver and he gets on his bike. He's going to go and do something with it. We go back to the shops, and all the twists that were at the shops, they return to the car, and it turns out they've all got the same present. Big Gribble shows up, and he says, it's a beautiful day, and Matron says, who is with him? She says, every day is beautiful when you're with someone you love. Tony says, listen, Tony, I got something to ask you. Got to ask your opinion. This hotel that I've just built, the Hotel de Love, what do you think about it? It's got love hearts, and it's got pictures of Matron everywhere, and Tony's clearly not impressed.
Yeah, the twists act like complete a-holes here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they rub the potential fail of Gribble's business right in his face. It's like, this is like something you might see out of other characters, but this doesn't seem to be twist characters.
No.
This wouldn't be what the twist would be doing. Right to their face, at least.
Mm.
So it's like, this is out of character, and it kind of makes you seem really mean. Like, I expect this thing out of Harold, or... No, the Gribble Juniors. I expect that out of them, but not out of you.
No, but they would say something bad about it. They wouldn't just look unimpressed.
They were trying to, like, bad-mouthing it.
They do in a little bit. Matron's holding the Viking Book of Love, which she still has from last episode when she took it from James, her son. And Gribble says, henceforth, everything I do will reflect my profound love for my wonderful wife. Very well, Harold. But didn't I read about you having some problems? And Pete says something about a single booking.
Yeah.
So they've only got one booking in this hotel.
Not a single booking at
Hotel
your
de
hotel?
Love.
Yeah.
And Matron says Harold doesn't mind not making money. Very out of character for Harold.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why doesn't he mind not making money?
Because the Viking Book of Love is a metaphor for Viagra.
Yeah, he's making a statement of love because of this book.
Yeah, it's lit the fire back in their relationship.
So Matron has taken it upon herself to save Gribble's midlife crisis with her Viking Book of Love. Now, we didn't talk about this last Round the Twist episode, but Harold's not a rat anymore.
No, he's not, is he?
No.
He's, what is he? He's a...
Man, again.
Yeah, he's a man again. So,
how did this happen?
Plot convenience.
Yeah, but how did it happen?
I don't know, love. Power of love.
Love, hey?
Yeah, I don't know, just whatever. Like, it's a sitcom. It's in a dream. Somebody's coma. And she's just like, oh, what happened to Harold again? What happened to Harold? I don't know. And then Linda starts reflecting back, and it's like, oh, and then it turns out like Harold's back in his body. And which would explain Linda is viewing men as emasculated, but also with the Viking Book of Love being Viagra. This is her turmoil.
What are you talking about?
This is her, what's it called? That part of your body that's like for, the part of your mind that's like for sex. What's that part called?
What?
The sex,
I don't know what you're talking about.
The sex thing in your brain.
Your sex brain? What is that?
I forget what it's called. It's like your feelings. Oh, God, what's the... Libido. That's it. Libido.
Your sex brain.
Your sex brain, right? Your libido, right? You're up and down. She's up and down. And, she's like really confused as a teenager because she's in this coma because, she's in a coma now.
We've done the coma thing to death.
Yeah, well, guess what?
It's been done.
It's back, baby. This was just Nell, alright? It wasn't actually Nell in the coma, it was Linda the whole damn time. Nell has arisen from season 1 coma. That's why she's not there anymore. She's not there anymore, because we're in the second level of coma, or we're in the most surface level coma.
Nell's having a coma.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait.
No, Linda's having a coma.
Yeah.
And in this coma, Nell's having a coma.
Okay.
So it's a coma inside a coma.
Nell's having a coma. This is my coma theory.
Yeah.
Nell's having a coma. Inside that, Linda is a representative of Nell inside of her coma.
Yes.
And then she is having a coma, and this is her coma inside of that coma, which is Nell's coma.
Yeah, that's fine. That works for me.
Yeah.
Now they're at level 2.
So Nell...
Level 1.
Inside Linda's coma, which is the current coma that we're watching, Linda is Linda.
Yeah.
But inside the upper level, Linda is Nell.
Yes.
And outside of that coma, Nell is Nell, because it's real life and Nell is actually Nell.
Exactly.
When she looked like a normal person and not a fake pirate.
Yeah, a fake pirate, not bloody fake pirate Nell. Yeah.
Yar.
What?
Me timbers.
What?
Hollow me mainsails.
Hollow me mainsails.
Drive the main plank.
What are you talking about?
Drop the land ho.
Drop the anchor.
I'm saying all those piratey pirate things that pirates
always say, drive the halloumi sails. That's what they always say.
Parrot me squab deck.
Parrot me squab. walk the poop deck,
Linda wants the book back, but Matron doesn't want to give it back. And she says, is your name on it? Is your name Viking Book of Love? No, I didn't think so. Little girl, what are you doing?
She probably should have put
this
her
is my
name
book
on it.
now. Yeah, when people kept stealing it, would have been an idea to A, put it somewhere where people can't steal it, or B, put some name on it so you can get it back. This is property of Linda Twist. Don't steal it. It's cursed. Back at the lighthouse. The Twists, they return with presents, and they're trying to hide them from Faye as she's leaving to go to the shops. And Faye says, oh, why don't you come with me? And they're like, oh, no, we've just been to the shops. We couldn't possibly go back. And she says, oh, what have you been shopping for? And Linda says, oh, window shopping. And it goes, we were shopping for windows. And Faye goes, oh, okay. She clearly knows that we were shopping for Mother's Day. Pete he's like, see, you know, I'm pretty good at lying.
Yeah, you know,
She definitely
quite
thought
good
we
at
were
that.
shopping for windows.
Because, you know, that's what you do. You go out shopping for windows.
If we could just refer here to some listener feedback like we do every week from a man fabled among listeners,
Yes.
a man known to us
Allegedly.
only as his real name,
Yes.
Regan Pontillo, the pontificator of worlds.
Mm.
And it's time for some Regan's Pontillos.
Yeah, that's some
That
Regan
is exactly what it's called. Pontillo's pontifications.
Exactly correct.
Pontillo writes in every week and he gives us some pontifications about the episode, and you can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
If you jump on one of our Facebook pages, either the main page, Tales from the Twist, or Chicken Twisties, the group where you can submit your pontifications.
Mm-hmm.
And Pontillo, he's written in, and one of the things he says here is that apparently Pete says shopping for Windows 99.
Mm-hmm.
And Pontillo says there isn't actually an operating system called Windows 99. Not sure whether this was just a lack of detail or done deliberately to avoid copyright infringement from Microsoft.
That's a good point.
Yeah, good one, Pontillo.
Yeah, good one. I didn't even think of that. What if you would have thought like Windows?
Pontificating monster.
Yeah, you call him a monster.
No, he's a good guy.
I would have thought they could have called it Windows XC or something, right? It's to come out before Windows XP. I don't know.
XC.
XC.
I don't know.
Ryan sounds like
knows?
XC. Who knows?
I want to say here, Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
This is something I don't like.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
like Mother's Day. I don't like Father's Day. Actually, I don't really like holidays of any kind of significance.
You're a grumpy asshole.
No, I'm not. Because, you know, everyone knows they're Hallmark holidays. They were made by Hallmark to sell greeting cards, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, it's a thing. You gotta buy a card for your mother. You gotta buy a card. You gotta do this. Why?
I don't know.
It's like, you appreciate your parents, yeah, but we don't need a special day to do it.
I agree with you, but I'm in marketing, so I love holidays because they're all tentpole days.
Yeah, you can sell more
in
stuff.
fact, as far as I'm concerned, we need another holiday between December and September. Because like there's a big lag period between then and Christmas. The second Father's Day ends, Christmas things go on sale. It's like, well, you know, if we had something in
Between
October
when?
30th,
Oh, okay.
which is probably why
What?
Halloween is getting a big push, because if you can make Halloween actually far more holiday in Australia, that's the next tentpole day. You can get a whole bunch of people inside to buy the Halloween stuff. When that's done, you then have Christmas. And then you basically have tentpole days every 2 months of the year.
The other thing I don't like about blah blah blah's days is, what are the rules here? So, in our family, we have to buy, everyone like buys presents for the mother, except obviously my dad, because he goes, oh, she's not my mother.
That makes
I
sense.
don't have to buy a present for her. But Tony is buying a Mother's Day present for Faye. Okay. Now, it's more interesting in this family because technically she's not their mother at all.
Yeah.
But they're being, you know, a little bit later, there's a conflict with Tony and Bronson.
Yeah.
Where he's encouraging Bronson to buy a Mother's Day present for her. But what if Bronson doesn't identify Faye as his mother?
It's true. It could happen.
Should he
Well,
should he have to buy her a Mother's Day present then for this fake holiday that is being thrust upon them?
Well, yeah, you're 7 years old, so you'll do what you're told.
Yeah, but what if he
Straight
doesn't
up.
identify with her as a mother? He's like, I don't think that she's my mother.
will
I'll get her a gift for being nice to me, but I don't want to call
You know
her
what
my
he will.
mom.
You know what he will identify with?
Being smacked.
Back of my hand. Yeah, exactly. Right. Right. You won't be disappointed, little boy. All right. You will respect your new mother.
I don't like being told what to do, especially by societal norms. I have to go to this wedding on Sunday, right?
And I have to wear pants.
I have to wear a tie and a long sleeve shirt.
Oh god, that must be the
I don't
worst
like
thing
it.
for you.
I don't like it.
You know, I used to not like wearing ties and shit. Now I kind of do, but I don't like wearing ties because I have a wide neck.
Yeah, me too.
Right, so I can't get the button over.
Yeah,
When I do, it
exactly.
sort of chokes me.
Yeah.
And then I put the little tie on, and it's like, I can't fucking breathe. So I usually have to undo the top part, and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is bullshit. Like, what do
Yeah.
I need to get a
What do you
wide
do?
neck? Where do you get those? Where do you get those wide neck shirts?
There are no shirts that fit me that are not enormous
Yeah.
that actually fit around my neck because I, like you, have a large neck.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
it's something about amateur podcasters.
Yeah, they all have these large necked. It's like the Adam's apple you see.
Yeah,
it
so big
provides
and
this
powerful.
powerful voice that people go, "Ooh, wonderful." Hopefully, they go wonderful.
Bronson has ridden to the barber on his bike and he's brought the razor to get it fixed. And the guy says, "Oh, this is a vintage Verkeckberker." Or whatever. You know, somebody's going to email me and say, "Oh, you didn't pronounce the name of the razor correctly." Not that anybody has ever got angry at me for pronunciation before. Actually, that's a lie. We have been in trouble for pronunciation before.
Yeah, we have.
Just with listeners' names.
That's because the names, I keep saying that names are the most important thing. Nobody likes to be called something that they're not.
Bronson gives the razor to Con the barber, and Pontillo, he writes in again and he says, is this a reference to Conan the Barbarian? Did you think so? Con the barber?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. But, Con the Barber may be the title, but I thought it was like, the guy was definitely like Con the Fruiterer.
Con the Fruiterer.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Hello, I'm Con the Fruiterer.
You know, I'm a fruiterer, that's my job, you know?
Yeah. He's having a look at this razor and he says it's got a weak central spin shaft. It's going to take about half a week to a week to get the part and to get fixed. And, he needs a deposit from Bronson.
Fair enough.
And Bronson gives him all the money that he has, the money that he was going to use to buy a Mother's Day present for Faye, and he's scratching his face.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, what's going on here? Obviously, we know it's going to happen, right?
Yep.
Is it spoilers if I say it's going to happen?
Yeah, definitely.
It is spoilers.
It's not.
Oh.
It's not spoilers.
Oh, well, he's got stubble. He's going to turn into a hairy man, and he's going to be the Nirandathal beast from the title.
Yes, exactly. Actually,
so
you know what?
He keeps scratching his face, and the guy offers him some beard oil.
Yeah. You know what I like? Is that this place, that Port Noranda, has these lovely little boutique shops.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, sounds like a lovely place to go, for a weekend, you know? Maybe at the Love Motel or whatever, hotel.
I would not.
I would go there. I'd go there, you know, maybe go antiquing or whatever.
The guy offers Bronson the beard oil. You're a bearded man.
Yes.
I tried to grow a beard last holidays, and I was unsuccessful because I did not use proper beard oil. Do you use beard oil?
No, I should though. It'd be nice.
See, I use an electric razor, and when I started to grow it after about a week, it was quite thick, but the ends were all shredded up because of the electric razor, and they like cut into my face, and it felt like my face was burning with the heat of 1,000 suns.
No, mine just feels like a nice warm cap. You know,
it was like cutting
like
into
like a little friend, like an old friend. You know.
You describe your beard as a friend.
It's an old friend. He clings to your face. It's good.
Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Cool.
He keeps you warm and stuff, and he makes you look older.
Bronson's running home, and he sees Faye, and he blurbs something about a present, and she kind of makes fun of him for it, and then they leave, and he kisses Faye, and she's like, oh, what was that? She notices some stubble.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of stubble on his face. And Faye, he notices Hotel de Love, and she goes over to investigate. She's like, oh, what's the Hotel de Love?
Cuts to a shot of the lighthouse as a penis.
Really?
Yeah, it's what I saw in this episode.
Yeah, talk about reusing old material.
No, I'm serious. Like, we talked about this, but I'm not joking you. This time it was, again, another phallic symbol. It's like, you know, there's this median scene transition to the lighthouse, and it looks very phallic. You know, maybe it indicates, you know, a fire in Faye's loins.
A fire in Faye's loins?
I guess so.
I guess so indeed.
You know, she's looking for a man, and as we've described before...
Yes.
The men in this episode seem to be very, in this season seem to be very less manly, more emasculated, right? We've been talking about this. This is something been brought up a lot.
It is indeed.
So the first, a sign of manliness or something like that, it might
Our
be
beards.
like what she needs. Pardon?
Our beards, is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, that or something, you know, versus what Tony is just basically, you know, he still seems like a wuss.
Okay.
So that's maybe what she wants. She wants to go to the Hotel de Love to bring back the spark and the romance or whatever in their relationship because he's such a pussy now. You were talking about this last week, and now you're leaving me.
You're on your own here, Squire.
You're hanging me
You're
out
on
to
your
dry.
own.
You're like, ugh. And now you're hanging me out to dry. Now, ugh.
Ugh. Hoi vey.
Hoi vey.
Back at the lighthouse, Bronson returns home. He parks his bike, and he looks in the window of the shed, of Tony's shed. Tony's enormous, luxurious shed that he has in Season 3. And what is this? He's got a beard now. He freaks out.
He's got a dwarf beard.
He's got a dwarf beard.
Yeah.
As opposed to being a sunken-faced dwarf creature. And he runs upstairs, and Tony sees him freak, but he doesn't see the beard.
Mm-hmm.
It's late at night. Bronson, he's sneaking out. He has to put his beard over his shoulder. It's so big. And he's walking down the street, and this old lady sees him and screams. Okay? Now, we talk a little bit on the podcast about racism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not racism, but this is,
beardism.
This is definitely discrimination. This old lady looks at Bronson and screams because he has a long beard and thinks that he's some sort of
monster.
Maybe a sunken-faced dwarf creature, I don't know. But What if this is just, you know,
A regular dude.
a small person with a beard?
Yeah, it's like, look, it's really rude. It's only a boy with a 2 meter long beard. You know, why you gotta be so rude?
It wouldn't even be 2 meters. He's probably a meter tall. It's not even as long as him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's very rude of you to do that. Very ableist of you, you know?
Ableist? Is that the right word?
I don't care.
You know what it is? It's just being a bad person in general.
Yeah, it's like there's this random dude just walking down the street, and then this lady's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so scary, God, it's a beard," and she just freaks out, and it's like, "Well, thanks, I have this really nice beard, I thought I was doing okay, and apparently I look like a monster. Fuck you too, bitch."
Last week on the podcast, we
I'd throw
talked...
shit at a house.
Would you?
Yeah, just
What kind of things would you throw?
whatever's around, I could throw at a house.
Toilet paper?
Well, no, I don't bring toilet paper with me.
Bricks?
Wouldn't throw a brick, that'd probably break your house. I mean, I'm talking like, you know what I mean?
Human feces?
Yeah, sure. Human feces. I'd poop in my hand and throw it at it. I'm a beast after all. This is what beasts do.
Last week on the podcast, we talked a little bit about Captain Capitalism in our Captain Planet episode.
Yeah.
And if I was writing Captain Capitalism,
Yes.
the TV show, I would write a villain in called Old Lady who doesn't like sunken-faced dwarf creatures. And she would be this horrible villain that Captain Capitalism saves the day by saying, you know, sort it out yourself.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, stop being so annoyed. It's just a, you know,
Yeah, don't call the
sunken-faced
police.
dwarf creature.
It's just
Okay? Don't be so rude. It's just a dude. Okay?
I am guilty of being just as bad as this woman, aren't I?
Yeah. You bloody sunken.
That is-
hates the sunken-faced dwarf creatures.
I edit the podcast every week, and the moment that I laughed the most that I've ever laughed at our podcast is when we had that conversation a few weeks ago about Rabbit looking like a sunken-faced dwarf creature for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Laughed at my own joke.
Not the lawnmower
Still
man.
laughing.
Not the
Lawnmower
terra
Man,
farmer.
The Terra Farmer.
I enjoyed that one.
I did enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
Bronson, he makes it to the barber, and the barber's like, "Oh, let me have a look at this." And Bronson says, "What is it?" And Con de Barbara, he says, "It's a beard, mate." And Bronson says, "What are we going to do about it?" And Barber's like, and pulls out a razor. What do you think he was going to do about it? You idiot?
So, okay,
It's a beard. Shave it off.
We know that the German colonel had a 2 meter long beard. He had this long beard like
He tripped over it.
right? So it's pretty apparent that this is. We're going to assume that the colonel was cursed as well.
I didn't connect the dots there.
So he wouldn't have used the blade, though, right? So how would?
Well, he wasn't going to use it until the war was over. That's why his beard was so long.
Well, yeah, okay. So then, how did the object get cursed?
Who knows? This is what I don't know. This is why we need Nell.
Yeah.
In season 3 and 4. We say this nearly every week.
Where's Nell? You need
Where's
to tell
Nell?
us what's up
Tell
with
us
this.
what are the rules.
We don't know what the rules
We
are.
made fun of you in seasons 1 and 2. Oh, how does Nell know this? Oh, what does Nell know? Oh, blah blah blah.
Where are you?
Nell. Now I'm suffering.
Yeah,
I'm suffering inside. There's a gaping hole in my heart for you, Nell. If you're out there, Nell, and you're listening to this, please know I'm sorry. I want you back in my life.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me all the things I need to know about supernatural creatures and supernatural items and curses. I want you to tell me about that ship that crashed off the coast that had 3 ghosts in it and how those ghosts are stuck in this cartridge of a Nintendo 64. And when you play that Nintendo 64, bad things happen to your toaster. I want you to tell me about why that dragon is stuck in that treehouse. Exactly. I want you to tell me why this lighthouse is filled with people who are idiots. Tell me why.
Yes. So if you're a Nell, or a Nellologist out there, could you please write in and tell us all about Nell? And answer Joe's questions about dragons and N64 cartridges. Which I assume he's referencing some creepypasta or something.
No.
Or you just
I
making shit up.
was just making up around the twist episodes.
Just wing it. Well, there you go. That's going to be one of them. It's going to be like, oh, Bronson finds a Nintendo 64 cartridge and turns out it's got an alien on it. And it causes Bronson to turn into an alien. That would be this episode.
Yeah.
Good writing, Eston.
Good writing. Or Bronson has a Nintendo 64 cartridge that makes him pregnant, and then they have to get an abortion. That's more around the twist style.
Yeah, okay, they get an abortion. That's fair enough. That's not scary at all.
Con de Barbara, he shaves off Bronson's beard, and he's like, "Thanks, Con, you saved my life." And Con's like, "Don't worry, mate. It's part of my job."
Yeah.
I'm de Barbara.
He goes, I'm a barber, it's my job.
And Con gives him an emergency kit and says, listen, mate, bring in your hair if this happens again. I'm going to research this on the internet. I'm going to go on the barber forums.
Yep.
Or the emergency Barberpedia. He's going to research Can 7-year-olds grow massive beards overnight?
Yeah, and it turns out he'll
.com.
find something, you know?
Look that up. Tell us if there's something there.
If you're a beardologist, can you tell us that as well?
You're killing it. You're killing it. We're overusing the joke. It was my favourite joke. The ologist joke. It was my favourite.
It's not a joke.
Dying.
It's not a joke. It's literally what I describe everything as.
What is... If you're a beard expert, are you just a beard expert, or is there a word?
Beardiatrist? I
don't know. As Bronson's walking home, the police rock up at this old lady's house, and she's hysterical because of the sunken-faced dwarf creature. Morning. Bronson wakes up, and his beard is bigger than ever. He shaves in the bathroom, covers his face. He covers his face here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
With this hat. And I thought he looked a bit like Season 1 Bronson wearing the Eskimo hat. Did you pick up on that too?
I think so too.
Yeah.
Picked up on that.
Yeah, and
I thought it was very clever too, how he was like dressed up in this really cool, not cool, winter clothes. So he could try to turn his beard into sort of like a scarf slash...
But he had a scarf covering it.
Well, he should have used the beard as an actual scarf.
Oh, okay.
It would have made more sense.
Yeah, and he tries to sneak out his beard hair in a big garbage bag. And Tony's reading the paper that says "The Beast Among Us" on the front page. That's a headline. Yeah. And Bronson steals Tony's toast and he escapes.
But more importantly than the headline of the paper, alright, they have freaking Pingu on their milk bottles.
What?
Pingu was on the milk bottle.
Why is Pingu on the milk bottle?
Right, I was watching this and I was like, oh yeah, little thing. I'm like, wait, is that fucking Pingu? So I stopped the video and I'm like zooming in on the train. Like, I'm holding it up to my eye and everyone's probably looking at me. Probably no one's looking at me, but for the case of the story.
Enhance.
Everyone,
Enlarge.
I'm enhance. Make that bigger. I'm pretty sure it's Pingu on the milk bottle. It looked like a penguin and it looked like a claymation penguin. And if it's a claymation penguin, by God, it's gonna be Pingu.
Pingu.
I love Pingu.
Pingu's pretty great.
Yeah, he's great. And also, IXL Jam, which shouldn't be there because product placement.
ABC.
It's ABC.
You know Pingu?
Mm-hmm.
There's a YouTube video where some guy has animated Pingu and The Thing and put them together. You seen the film The Thing?
Yes.
John Carpenter film? Yeah. He put them together.
Is it amazing?
Pingu, yeah, it's like Pingu's family get attacked by the Thing and burn. It's like, it's great.
No, that's good.
Check it out.
I will. I'll check it out. Be sure to.
Bronson arrives at the barber again with his bag of hair, and Con shows him the paper, and he's like, oh, they're calling you the Nirandathal. And Con says, you need to tell your dad about this. And this is something that we can refer back to Pontillo. And Pontillo, he says, another example of Around the Twist episode where kids don't communicate their problems to parents or adults and get some help. To be fair, Regan, he is seeking help of a member of society who should know better, Con de Barbara, who should be able to help him. That's an adult, right?
You can't. Yeah, well, I guess so, but, you know.
You should probably tell your parents too.
Probably shouldn't be talking to strangers.
Yeah, this strange man who's offered to help you.
Yeah, it might be a barber, but, you know, I'm sure that, murderers and, you know, people who abduct children and stuff, they probably do
barbers.
Jobs as well.
Are you saying that barbers are bad people?
I'm not saying barbers are bad people, but I'm saying that some bad people are barbers. Probably. I don't know. Like Sweeney Todd. Yeah, there you go. Problem solved.
Problem solved. Bronson says, no way, I'm never telling my dad, and neither should you. And Con says, I'd never break the sacred barber customer confidentiality.
I didn't know that existed.
Well, it's not. It's a joke.
Well, it should exist. You tell your barber a lot of things sometimes.
Do you? People, when I go to the barber, they never talk to me.
Well, sometimes what's the reason for that?
Why?
Because they're like, oh, there he is again. I better just get him over with.
I don't even know the same one.
Because if I start talking to him, he'll eventually get to about, we'll talk about government.
Have you heard the good word about Ayn Rand?
And it'll just be 20 minutes of Ayn Rand and,
I don't, gosh. See, people probably have this idea, our listeners probably have this idea of me that I'm just, walking around in a white shirt and a tie, knocking on people's doors going, excuse me, have you heard the good word about Ayn Rand? No, I don't bring up Ayn Rand in normal life. I get to bring it up on the podcast and that's about it.
Yeah, well, they just want that.
I don't walk up to randoms on the street and I go, who is John Galt? Who is John Galt?
You should write that as graffiti. People
just write who is John Galt.
Just write that around.
That's fun.
But this would be a good screen story script or whatever. I really like a barber who does a lot of executives and stuff, and he talks to them and he gets all
insider trading.
Gets insider trading information, and then he holds one of them with a razor point, and it's like, oh, I know all your secrets, and tries to blackmail the CEOs because he knows the secrets of them.
I thought you were going to tell me about a barber who was an evangelical libertarian who told people about Ayn Rand while he was...
Yeah, and it's like, you will listen to my story of Ayn Rand or I will cut your throat. And it's like, well, tell me all about this woman. She sounds amazing. Please tell me.
She is amazing.
I'm glad you agree.
At school, Faye's teaching kids about the monster. She's got them all gathered around her. So let them sit at their desks.
So now she's still a teacher now.
Apparently she's a teacher. Who is this woman?
Yeah.
Who is she?
She's amazing. She's a superwoman. She's a super mum.
Who is your mother and what does she do?
Yeah, she's a super mum, clearly. She's a busy mum who does a lot of things.
Well, she is a woman who looks after some children who are not her own.
Yeah.
She teaches full-time, I'm assuming, and also she's a firefighter with the CFA.
She's a mother of convenience.
A mother of convenience.
A mother of plot convenience.
Bronson enters, and he's covered his face up. He's hiding his beard, because it grows so quickly now. Later on, Bronson's walking home, and there's monster hunters everywhere, and Gribble's having a press conference, and he offers $5,000 for the capture of Nirandathal. It's quite hard to say. And Bronson's scared. He's like, oh no, they're coming to get me.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably going to kill him or whatever. Hang his head up on the wall. This is just a bearded child.
Yeah.
This isn't a wonder of science. And Gribble also announces excellent rates at Hotel de Love.
Yeah.
And this woman asks, oh, there's only been one sighting of the beast. Yeah. I think you're overhyping the prophet here, Mr. Gribble, says the reporter. And Gribble says, you're from the ABC. She's from the ABC. She's from the ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Don't...
I like...
It's great.
That female reporter, I'm pretty sure...
Yeah, she was a comedian.
Yeah, Australian comedian from...
She's been in a lot of them, I think.
She's definitely been in sketch shows. I've seen her before. I was like, oh... I've seen her before. And Regan commented on the ABC, and I found something as well. So
and he said,
say first.
Making fun of television station that airs funds around the twist. So, yeah. He thinks it's great that the ABC allowed somebody to do this, and says that someone there had a good sense of humour.
I enjoyed that as well. I loved how it was self-referential. But also, if we remember that, what's his name? Harold was a Senate candidate.
Yep.
Who, let's face it, if he would be a Liberal, let's just face it, that's probably the party he'd go for.
He's a, what is he?
But if he was
the Progressive Conservative Party?
If it was a real life, he'd probably be in the Liberal Party.
Yeah, or he could be somewhere
or in the
Nationals
Party.
He could be an independent. He could be Bolcatter-esque.
He could be, but okay, come on. He's fucking in the Liberal Party. Alright? It's very clear. Alright? But no, they didn't want to make any plot shots there. My point is that he would definitely be in the Liberal Party. And it is just like nowadays, what was that? Just before Turnbull came in, right? With Tony Abbott attacking the ABC.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a little bit of a Paul Jennings, what is that, Paul Jennings jab at, the libs there again?
Yeah,
the future prediction, just like in episode 2 of our podcast.
The Liberals, they hate the ABC because they can't control it.
Yeah.
They don't want the ABC to say bad things about them because the ABC is a heavily left bias towards the Labour Party or to the Greens or whatever. They've got a left bias in general, so generally they're more favourable to, left parties like Labour. Yeah. And even a lot of ABC personalities have gone on to become Labour members.
Yeah. Look, it's like, fine, whatever. Some would argue maybe, it shouldn't be that way because my taxes are going to fund it. I was like, that's an entirely different story. But, there's enough bloody right-wing media out there as well. Like, the Murdoch papers, that's... Yeah. I wouldn't read that. I wouldn't even read those papers. Like, they're even worse, okay?
I don't really mind the left bias of the ABC. Like, it's sometimes annoying. The main time it annoys me is on Hack, on Triple J. Hack, the 5:30 news current affair program type thing that they have. It is very heavily left biased, like super left, beyond green left. But that's because a lot of their listeners are university age students, super left. Oh, I'm so left it hurts type people.
It's just the higher production values and actually higher journalism, to be honest, of ABC that I'm totally okay with it. Like Channel 9 News, the news channel, the news network or whatever it is, that's the only legitimate news reporting on Channel 9 or Channel 7. Yeah. Day to night, it's just chasing dodgy people who might or might not be pedophiles. Yeah. At least the ABC actually do some research. Yeah. That one chick on 7:30 Report just hammers politicians hard, and it's like, she gets the facts out of them.
I think ABC has some good stuff, but like with everything, I don't think it should be government funded. If there was a need for that kind of journalism, if people were genuinely interested in it, then a free market would provide that. Like, somebody would say, oh, I think it's a good idea to do this type of news show because nobody's currently doing that. People would watch it, they'd make money.
They probably would. It'd probably be like heavily funded by left-wing groups.
Well, left-wing people would watch it. A lot of them would watch it because they don't have an alternative. Then they would watch it so they would get good ratings, so that they would get good funding.
It'd be SBS. Basically what SBS does.
Yeah, kind of like what SBS does.
Yeah.
So Tony and Faye are sitting on the couch, and Faye's playing with Tony's face. And Tony says to Pete, have you seen my razor, mate? I keep using disposables. I'm going to need a blood transfusion soon because I keep cutting myself. You know.
Buy a decent razor.
Yeah. Jeez, Tony. Learn how to shave, mate.
Yeah. It's not
and
hard.
He says, where are you going? And Pete goes, oh, I'm going to Fiona's to look after her while her dad hunts the beast. And Tony says, yeah, okay, I see nothing wrong with this. Have a good time. Doesn't even say, don't do anything that you shouldn't do.
Yeah, don't.
This is clearly what Pete wants to do.
Yeah, we know what you want to do, Pete. Well, maybe he's a bit of a liberal father, so, whatever,
He's okay with this.
He's okay. Remember, he's stoned half the time. We're under the assumption that he's an artist, and most artists are on drugs.
This would explain a lot.
Yes, it would. Explain why he's crazy.
Linda's going to a Save Nirandathal meeting, but Faye's staying to...
She's only doing it because there's nothing on TV.
Yeah.
I like that. It was very funny.
And Faye is staying to talk to Tony.
Wink, wink.
And Linda leaves, and Tony says, what are we talking about? And Fiona says... And Faye says, Bronson, the other day... What?
That's recalling from last season.
Yeah, because Tony wanted to talk to Faye about Bronson.
Yeah, and Faye wanted to have a conversation or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and she said the other day I joked with him about buying a present for me for Mother's Day, and he's been acting funny with me ever since. Tony's like, oh, I'm going to sort this out. Goes into his room. This is my favourite part of the episode. And he says, Tony knocks on the door and he comes in, and Bronson's hiding under the covers because obviously he's trying to hide the beard.
Yeah.
And Tony goes, what are you doing? And he goes, I can't come out. I'm playing Cave Explorers. And then this gets better. And Tony says, I know what the problem is, and it's perfectly natural. And Bronson goes, is it? And he's like, yes. You'll get used to it, but you'll find a way to cope. He's like, this could be taken a few different ways.
I don't know if our fans will get that. I think some of them will. Why you find
Cave Explorers funny?
Yeah, you know why. Why? I know why you find it funny.
What?
You've seen the picture.
What picture?
You haven't seen. You've been the picture. Come on.
I don't know what picture you're referring to.
He's like, hey, son, you want to go to school? And then he's like, no, let's play Cave Explorer. You haven't seen that picture? Go look up Cave Explorer meme.
I'm not a meme person, Anthony.
Yeah, well, anyone listening, go look up
in-image macros.
I've seen that image. I've seen the funny joke. I'm not going to describe it. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, I've seen that. So it's like,
is it some sort of masturbation?
No,
we're talking
not
about?
really. It's molestation.
Oh,
okay.
So you just made it worse.
It is worse. It's pretty bad when you think about it. But it's like I've seen that image on funny jokes or whatever. So it's like when I hear I'm playing Cave Explorer, I'm like,
well, yeah,
okay.
yeah, Cave, yeah. All right, that's enough. Yeah, Tony says, to be fair to Faye, she's fair to us. And Bronson says, oh, I forgot to buy her a Mother's Day present. And Tony says, that's a good boy. Again, don't force your values on Bronson. He doesn't want to buy her a Mother's Day gift. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Leave him be. Don't force your societal values on me, man. Stop stepping on my vibe.
He should be like doing that too, because isn't he like an ex-hippie?
Yeah.
Or is he an ex-hippie? I don't know.
Who knows? He's stoned all the time.
He's stoned. He's like, man, like, come on, man. You gotta, like, get Faye a present, man. Like, we'll just get her a new bong or something.
Bronson has no money in his piggy bank, and he tips it out, and it's only got, like, paper in it, and he accidentally lands on his beard, and he's like, oh, dandruff, great.
Yeah, that is a real problem with beards.
Do you get dandruff in your beard?
I call it beardruff.
Beardruff?
Yep, beardruff. It's pretty gross.
What do you do? Because you don't use beard oil, do you have a beard shampoo?
Because I have dandruff in my hair sometimes, I just use anti-dandruff shampoo on my beard.
Okay.
Works.
I've never had a problem with dandruff.
You don't grow beards that often?
No, but even in my hair.
Well, I don't know. You got short hair right now.
Well, yes. Anthony is referring to the fact that several days ago, I shaved all of my hair off.
He decided he was listening too long to some of those far right-wing messages and thought, you know what, I'm going to become a skinhead.
I was not. I've been losing my hair for quite some time.
Yep.
And it got to the point where I was like, yeah, well, kind of. I'm going to have to go bald
that makes
forever
sense.
At some point. So I got rid of it, most of it.
Yeah. It actually makes a lot of sense. I've actually been tempted to do that too, but I like my hair. long. And I've got a beard. And here's the thing. Bald people with beards, you can do it. But then you get the joke where it's like, oh, mate, all that hair up there looks like it's sort of come down and rearranged on your chin. And you just be like...
Yeah, because people make that joke all the time. See, that hair, it's been rearranged on your face into the different formation.
I'm a clever guy. It's migrated south for the winter.
This is an extremely well-worded joke and super funny.
Well, you know, I work with really, really intelligent, well-joked people.
Bronson tries to sneak out to the barber, and there's hunters everywhere. He's sneaking around a car, but he gets his scarf caught on the car, and it pulls off. And young Gribble, this is the only time we see him in this episode, sees him and screams, and then hunters run out of Hotel de Love.
It's just like in...
start trying to chase him.
What's the Majiggy?
What's the Majiggy? What?
Legend of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, yeah?
Well, like, the guy looks at him, I can't remember his name, and he just goes... screams, and all the people charge at him because, you know, they're not obviously body snatchers.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Noise. Pete and Fiona, they're watching a film, and Pete tries to make a move on her. He, like, does the yawn arm around
the
her.
arm technique. And I've done that before.
I've done it before, too.
But I've done it as a joke. But then it's like, it's as a joke, it still works, so it's like, nailed it.
Yeah, it makes it better if you make it a joke.
It's like, oh, that's so funny.
Anyway, he... What? And then he puts his arm around her and he leans in to kiss her, and just as he's leaning in, she's distracted by a ruckus outside, and she runs to the window and she's like, oh, they're chasing that poor dwarf creature. And Pete says, well, butter me sideways.
Butter him sideways?
I don't know.
Spread butter all over him.
And he says, oh, well, we better huddle up tight and switch off all the lights.
That's always a good suggestion.
Because, you know...
Cuddling is an excellent protection.
That's not what he wants, though, is it?
The cuddling is code for intercourse.
Yes.
That's what I said. I just, like, could have said boning is good for protection. But, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, PG.
Fiona rushes to the Nirandathal meeting, and Nell is at the meeting. First time we've seen her in about 1,000,000 years. And she says, we must be calm, rational, scientific, and of course when Fiona rushes in, the joke is that everyone rushes out. Because they're not calm, rational, and scientific, because they're lefty, pinko, commie people.
Yeah, exactly. Because only pinko lefty commies can be irrational.
Can overreact.
And be overreacting and can only form mass mobs. That's never happened in the history ever. Has there ever been a mass mob? At
least, I like about this episode is it's balanced. Both sides are irrational.
Oh, yeah.
The hunters are irrational and so are the lefties.
But here's the thing.
It's nice.
I think it's great. But Nell... Okay, we haven't seen her all season. This is the first time we see it, and she says...
We have seen her this season.
Okay, so
just very little.
She's been very little. I assume she's just back from the Senate job or whatever she's been doing.
Yeah.
But she says to be calm, that's her character, rational, and scientific.
When's Nell been scientific?
Yeah, when has Nell ever really been scientific in what anyone would quote as rational? You know, maybe Richard Dawkins would be like spinning in his grave if he was dead. I don't know what you call it when you're not dead.
Spinning in your chair.
Spinning in your chair over hearing that Nell is rational, I guess. But, you know, maybe that's because he's co-opted the word rational. What do you think?
I think, I have no opinion.
You have no opinion about anything except for the things you have opinions about. By God, Joe.
You can't have an opinion about everything.
It's true. It's true. I don't have an opinion about a lot of
things. You
things.
don't have an opinion about something sometimes.
Only things that don't involve me or things I don't care about.
Sometimes it's best to... what am I going to say to that? What am I going to have an opinion about? Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't know. You made a video at one stage about it.
I did.
You did YouTube.
Yeah. When I tried.
When you tried, yeah.
About rationality.
Yeah, being like, you know, sometimes deified by...
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, so both sides, I guess, can do it.
Oh, everybody can do it, yeah.
But I was mostly referring to the neo-atheists, how they deify rationality.
Was to say not some neo-atheists.
Yeah, some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, new atheism.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Anyway. They swap out their old god, basically, for reason, and it becomes, like, everything becomes, like, reason becomes your faith. It becomes not, you know, some people, it's fine, but others, it's like, reason, it's gonna be rational, blah, blah, blah. Anything other than that, and immediately dismissed. Yep. If you don't fall into my category, you must be irrational. Like, I've heard, okay, so a good example is, all atheists are more rational than religious people.
Yep.
Right? Which is an irrational statement, because unless you've done a survey, you cannot make that claim.
Okay.
Alright? Unless you can, or you can prove a logical connection. Therefore, it would be irrational, and therefore you yourself are irrational if you're an atheist and you said that.
Good, logic circles there.
I love being a logical circle. bloody podcast drives on logical circles. It's like an infinite energy machine. What are those things called? Perpetual motion machines. We're just logic
not
circles.
real.
It's not real. Okay? None of this is real. Reality is fake. Alright?
Oh no. What are we going to do?
I don't know, just listen to podcasts all day.
Bronson appears after everyone runs away, and Pete, Fiona, and Linda, they realise that he's the Nirandathal, and Pete touches his beard, and he says, "Should have been me." And Bronson confesses about the shaver and using it and breaking it, and he's worried about being taken to a lab and being disinfected.
I like that.
Yeah, and the twists, they head to the barber, and the barber, he has a new part, but he has to fix it. So he fixes it quickly. And the hunters are searching, and they've found nothing. And Gribble's organised breakfast for the next day, but they're thinking about leaving. And he's like, "You gotta stay for the a la carte breakfast." And this hunter, he finds dandruff, and he tastes it, and he's like, "It's fresh. Let's
Gross.
go, boys. Let's go to the barber's."
You know, that could have been anything.
It could have been anything.
You know, they could have been like cyanide that someone's left on the ground for some whatever reason.
Con has fixed the razor, and he shaves Bronson, but it grows back instantly. Linda was sure it would have been fine if the original razor was used, because apparently Linda, as we've theorised, is the new Nell.
Mm-hmm.
The hunters, they arrive at the barber, and they want the beast. They're like, "We know it's in there! Let us in! The beast's in there!" And Pete, he says, "I think this is not working, because he's broken the chain."
Mm-hmm.
The way that the razor's been passed down, I was supposed to be next. Bronson's shaved it. I have to shave, and then Bronson shaved to restore the balance.
So it's like a reverse Final Destination.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's weird. Like, why is this razor cursed? Like, why does it have these powers? Why this specific power that you get hairy if you shave it out of order?
Here's why I think it got cursed, alright? Because as we said before, there's only two ways that Grandpa could have got this razor.
Yeah.
He either was a German soldier and he got it, alright? He must have been gifted to him in a will or something, and I don't think that the German army would have been as efficient at taking their bodies off the battlefield and ensuring that all the parts get back to him. I don't think he's German. I think he's an ally. I think he raided the corpse of this colonel, looted it, right? And because of that, the blade is cursed. The blade is cursed.
Yeah, but this is a very
with some
specific
weird
curse.
curse or something.
It's very specific. It's like, if you shave it in the way that it's handed down from family member to family member, if you shave outside of that order, then you're cursed. Like, that is so specific. How did it get that?
Well, maybe it wasn't cursed then. Sorry. Maybe it was that the German officer tried to do it himself, right? Right? Because it wasn't his turn, and his brother was supposed to do it. So, but then his brother's dead or something in the battlefield, and he's buried in a cemetery somewhere, okay? So he can't shave until after the war, because what he's going to do is after the war, he's going to go to his brother's grave, dig up his brother, shave his face, and then shave his beard off.
You're reaching.
Reaching, am
You're
I?
reaching.
Am I truly reaching?
I think that...
And then it's a Highlander scenario.
The lighthouse, right, must be imbuing, or Niranda in general must be imbuing magical powers on these items, because that camera equipment had that curse that told the truth for no reason at all.
Other than it's
those guys
Niranda.
got struck by lightning and disappeared for no reason. What happened to those guys?
Fair enough. Maybe that is the reason.
Anyway, Pete shaves while the hunters bang on the door, and then they give Bronson the shaver, and then the con shaves him with the magic razor, and it works, or the beard doesn't grow back. But Bronson's sad that he didn't give Faye a present. Luckily, Con de Barbara, he's got some money, because he has been selling Bronson's hair to a wig shop in Bigville. And as Pontillo points out, Bigville has everything.
Oh, everything. Everything that you need is in Bigville, so why are you living in Port Niranda?
Deus Ex Bigville.
Yeah, that's what we should call it, Deus Ex Bigville.
The hunters, they burst into the barber shop, but there's no beast there.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, Bronson's shopping. It's Mother's Day. He's trying to get a present. Everything's closed. But all the hunters, they're leaving the hotel because they've given up on their search for the beast. And he's like, "Oh, I've got an idea." Back at the lighthouse, Peter, Linda, and Tony, they give Faye her presents. Turns out they all got her a toaster because they're massive idiots and they didn't check what each other were getting her. And even when they saw that they all had the exact same box, they didn't do anything about it.
Which is really funny for anyone who's ever been or had a wedding.
You just get everything the same.
Yeah, you get like 5 versions of the same thing. Just why people ask for money now. Because it literally makes sense. Otherwise you'll end up with like 6 bloody toasters.
Yeah. Well, like Faye ends up with 3 toasters.
Yeah.
I do think having a big family...
Yeah. You should coordinate.
You should, well, I was going to say, it helps to have at least a 4-slice toaster. If you had 2-slice toasters, I think that'd be alright. 3's a little bit of overkill, though.
You could have said, "Hey guys, what are you planning on getting her?" "Oh, I don't know." "Well, let's not all get her a toaster. What does she need?"
Port Miranda's not that big either. Where are they going separately to get the exact same toaster from?
Yeah, exactly. They must
There's
have gone to
probably
3
only one
separate shops.
electric shop.
Or it's one shop and they've all visited at different times, and the electronics guy's like, oh, I'm just going to sell them a toaster. He's got a whole backlog of toasters to sell.
Faye says, do I make a pig of myself at breakfast or something? And the twists are arguing. And Bronson arrives and he says, Happy Father's Day.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But why does it matter? Okay, she's got 3 toasters. Why? What is the connection there? Like,
What?
do I make a pig of myself at breakfast? Yeah, that's why we've got you 3 toasters.
So you can
have more toast or something.
I don't know.
I understand.
Maybe she needed a toaster.
Whatever.
Bronson arrives and he says, Happy Father's Day, Faye. And he got her a weekend.
Wait, what did you just say?
That's what he says. He says, Happy Father's Day.
Really?
Yeah, I rewatched it like 3 times. He says, Happy Father's Day. Maybe he's just a little douchebag and he hates Faye. And he's like, every little thing he can do. Anyway.
Maybe Faye is actually trans.
Who knows?
Bronson picks it up because of his spiritual energy.
He got her a weekend for 2 at Hotel de Love. And Faye, she thinks that everyone put in for the hotel because she's like, oh, the toasters are so rubbish. Why would you have got me 3 of them? You must have put in and this be the real present.
Yeah.
What a douche.
What
a douchey thing to say.
Why? It
It's
makes
like-
sense.
No, that's just douche.
Is it?
Douche move. It's like, another thing I don't like about holidays. I don't like this forced present thing.
You hate people having fun.
No, I don't like it when, like, people get you a present, right? And I tell people all the time, like, for my birthday and for Christmas and stuff, I was like, just don't get me anything, okay? I feel like my parents are like, oh, we have to get you something. And it's like, okay, then get me this one specific thing. I like board games. So
Get me money.
Get me this board game. I'll even order it myself off the internet and you can just give it to me. Okay?
Yeah.
So I do that. But then people give you all this other random tat and then they give it to you and then you're supposed to be grateful for it. And it's like, why? I told you not to get me anything. I would have been happier had you not given me anything. Because now I have to feel grateful for this tat that you've given me. It's like you've given me this shirt or whatever. My parents always give me these shirts for birthdays or Christmas. And they're like, oh, you've got to be grateful. We got you this nice shirt. And it's like, I told you not to get me this shirt. It's like, oh, why don't you try it on? Try on your shirts. Wear the shirts because I don't want your shirts. Keep them to yourself. Don't get me anything. I'll be happier. I don't like Christmas. Bah humbug.
You hate Christmas because it's green and red.
Yeah, also because I'm colorblind, yes.
No, I'm different, okay? I'm completely different.
You just love free stuff.
I love free shit. Half the stuff in my house is free stuff. People are like, oh, I've got to throw away this toast. Not the toaster. I've got to throw away this Nespresso machine. It doesn't work. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take that. Oh, I've got this steam mop. I'm not using it. I'll take it. I don't even use it. Whatever. I'll take it. It's free. It's just going to go up in the bloody bin anyway. I'll take it. It's free. Take free clothes. Why not? But yeah, I don't give a shit how I look when I walk around the house. It's really just to stop me from being naked. Apparently, because you can't walk around naked in public.
In your own house.
In my own house. It's a different story, right? But, like, it's serious. It's like, clothes are just to hide your nakedness. So why am I going to waste money on something I'm not going to enjoy? So I enjoy free shit.
Faye, as we said, she believes that they all put in because the toasters were rubbish, and the twists all go along with it because they're terrible people. Faye and Tony are packing to go on their weekend, and Tony can't find his razor.
Yeah.
Okay? But apparently, Faye used it last night, and she's used it on her legs. Okay, this is disgusting. Don't use somebody's face razor on your legs.
Yeah.
Alternatively...
I agree. Don't use somebody's razor on your legs. Oh, at least ask them too, right?
Don't use somebody's leg razor on your face. Also disgusting.
Unless you tell them.
Yeah. And the twist kids are like, oh, what's going on here? Look at Faye's legs, and they're super, super hairy.
Yes.
And then we get... the worst Deus Ex Machina of any Twist episode ever, and there's a real beast man washing from the bushes.
Yeah.
Because he is the real Nirandathal beast, and he existed the whole time. And out of nowhere, we didn't get any reference of this. You've been Shalamalaland.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Does that mean that when Bronson was being spotted, were they actually hunting for the beast? Like, legitimately, they were looking for the beast, and it became a comedy of errors? Like, Bronson is thought to be the beast, but actually they did spy a real beast.
No, well, they spotted Bronson and they thought that was the beast, but it turns out there actually was a real beast after all, hiding in this long grass that just so happened to be next to the lighthouse that was never there before.
What would have been better is if they set up the Nirandathal beast beforehand as like some law or some conspiracy guide or even just some tour guide going around saying, and this is the Nirandathal beast, or someone asking, and then it cuts to like, sort of the camera moves to the twist, and it's like, oh, so apparently Nirandathal beast is like this local legend. But no, it's like, oh, Nirandathal beast is real, guys, and he's interested in hairy legs of women. Okay? Whatever.
It's like the beginning of the Blair Witch Project where they interview people and stuff.
Yeah.
That. It would have been good.
That would have been awesome.
That is the end of the episode. Do you have anything that you need to talk about?
The fog. There was a mysterious fog around Port Naranda as they were, they were hunting the beasts. There was this big fog. And I was wondering, is that any type of mysterious time travel fog?
Yeah, from the
Previous
sleepy
episode.
time.
Yeah, sleepy time. May not be time traveling, but it might be otherworldly or other dimensionally.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
That's what I wanted to bring up, just that. And also continuing the whole masculinity versus...
Yes, femininity.
Femininity and sexual tension, which you could see with maybe what's her name? Fiona.
Yeah.
Having hairy legs, discarding her traditional female role model or whatever.
Again...
Or something.
Shave whatever you want, I don't care.
I know, I'm just saying that, like, this is we got the traditional form, female archetypes, whatever, and having a hairy legs is not of that. Perhaps, maybe this is taking a more... Okay, I can't help but hear Stephen Walpole in the back of my mind going, Linda Dominatrix. Because it's like, yeah, okay, maybe, because they're taking more of a dominant role in this season.
Anthony is referencing one of our viewers who posts on nearly everything we post on Facebook with Linda is going to be a dominatrix.
I cannot tell if it's actually happening or if his comments are mentally massaging my mind to actually start seeing these things.
You're becoming...
But I'm starting to see a lot more of it. Not so much as the Linda dominatrix, but more the sexual overtones of dominatrixism.
There's definitely sexual overtones, whether or not they're BDSM inclined.
I'm not BDSM, but I could see dominatrix / women taking more leadership role in a sexual acts.
Maybe.
Or even in a relationship start.
We could probably do an episode where we go through and discuss it through the entire round of twist. The sexual nature of some of the episodes and stuff. Because there is quite a lot of that. Like
there's a lot of overtones,
like the whirling penis and the chasey scarecrow and a couple of other things.
And the, boy giving birth, bloody Vikings who are all manly and very hairy. They're very hairy and they're high masculinity. Hair is, in my opinion, around the twist, at least in this season, has been a symbol more of confidence in masculinity. Or, aggressiveness.
Okay. Cool. Well, we are running out of time, so how would you rate this week's episode of Around the Twist?
Let's see. I rated it as 6 out of 10 bowls of spaghetti with hair in it, and when you ask the waiter about their hair, the barber at the next table leans over and whispers in your ear, "It's my job."
Okay. Alright. Our listener... Regan Pontillo rated the episode 6 out of 10 bowls of spaghetti and beer. He said, the episode was pretty enjoyable, the plot was quite good, but he felt like there wasn't a lot of content. Yeah, I was kind of a little bit harsher. You guys probably would have said maybe 4 bowls of uncooked ravioli.
Oh, God. Like with meat inside it?
Yeah, you're probably going to get sick from it.
You're going to get worms. Ugh.
Talking more about listener feedback,
mm-hmm.
we have a couple of comments from some of our listeners on the last episode that has gone up since now that recording it, which was IMU UMI, which a couple of our listeners pointed out, especially Hayden Redding, who pointed out that the title means IMU UMI, which we were just saying Imu Yumi.
Yeah, and it's like, when he pointed out, I was just like, I just face and hand connected like so quickly. Because like, oh my gosh, we didn't even try to sound it out. We didn't even think of it. We just tried to read it as one word. Like, God, that's good. It's good on you, man. Like, good pickup there.
Thanks for that, Hayden. I completely missed that one.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Walpole commented, and Linda's BDSM on that episode.
Thank you.
Very typical. Phil Bates commented to say that we were pronouncing his name correctly. Phil Bates, not Phil Batez. Thank you for that,
as I said
Phil.
Before, he is not a French goalkeeper.
He's not. And Christian Jeski said that it was a great episode that we recorded, the podcast, and he said that he watched this IMU, UMI, whatever it's called. He watched that before he saw Freaky Friday, so he always thought that Freaky Friday had copied Around the Twist.
Fair enough.
Which may have happened. We'll have to look at the timeline again to see how... Probably not. Okay, whatever.
Because there was the Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan. That was a remake.
Yeah, I know, there was an older one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure...
There was like an 80s one or something.
Well, then clearly it's not.
Yes. Thanks to everyone who commented. If you want to comment, we'll read out your feedback on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are several ways that you can interact with our podcast. Them being...
First, you can find us on iTunes and subscribe at Tales from the Twists.
Yep, try and rate us there as well.
Give us a rating and a review there if you like. It's really cool, I like seeing the ratings. when we get them. It's really awesome. So yeah, give us a review and a rate. Maybe share this with a podcast or a random stranger on the train. Offer an earbud. They ain't nothing
You've
too wrong
done
with
that one. You've done that joke.
What? It just I'm massaging the ideas back into
You've
people's
done it.
brains.
So
Okay.
much overused content.
Then plug in a loudspeaker on a train and be exceedingly annoying. And
Be
like,
original.
listen to the podcast. Listen. Or wear a shirt that says, if you don't listen to Round the Twist, it's Tales from the Twist.
Should
Then,
we get some merch?
I don't know. Yeah, okay, sure.
Tales from the Twist shirts?
I
would
definitely wear a Tales
from
from the Twist shirt, but then I would wear anything with a logo I represent on it.
Alright, well, let's investigate that.
Let's get a Tales from the Twist shirt.
Because I know that you can kind of do stuff by order. Shirts by order, so you don't have to make up a whole lot.
I'd totally wear that.
Yes.
Anyway, so, yes, iTunes. Absolutely. Go ahead, do that. It'd be awesome. Facebook, you want to find us on Tales from the Twists. And don't forget, if you're a real fan, and you like hearing more behind-the-scenes stuff, Pontillo's pontifications, little Phil's philosophies, or philosophies, as he likes to call it, and also just some general discussion on Round the Twist and Captain Planet and other TV shows from your youth, go check out Chicken Twisties on Facebook. Just look up Chicken Twisties. I don't know if you'd find that, actually, if you type in Chicken Twisties. You'd probably get on the Chicken Twisties homepage.
The best way to do it is to go to our page, Tales from the Twists, message the page, and ask, can I be added to the Chicken Twisties group? Where you can talk to us and put your feedback there.
Go to any of the posts on the page for any of the episodes.
Yep.
They'll always have a link with it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I like to do that. Again, you can find us on YouTube on Tales from the Twists as well. On Twitter, we're at TFT Twists. Our website is talesfromthetwist.wordpress.com.
Cool. We're also on YouTube. Did you mention that?
I mentioned YouTube, yes.
Okay,
I'm all over that.
We're also on Instagram.
We're also on the Instagram
We are not.
I don't know.
Tales from Linda's Spaghetti.
talesfromlindaspaghetti.com.au/Linda.
Anyway, we're grossly over time. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes.
It's been a good episode. Next week, we're back to Captain Planet.
Yep.
And then the week after, we'll have another Run the Twist episode. We alternate weeks. My name is Joseph Lewis.
And I'm Anthony Bull.
Thank you very much for listening. And stay twisty.